This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are going back to January the 25th, 1993, the episode of ECW television from that date and that time. Nate Maxon here with you along with my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And ECW's Chad Austin.
Viva la Loca.
And this week we are going to be featuring lots of Pat Tanaka on this week's episode. And
Pat Tanaka going to watch a lot of this show.
And I think the trying to transition Tommy Dreamer begins during this episode of ECW.
Good job, Nick. Good job.
That's definitely going down. We'll get to it later, but the robe is still here for now. But anyway, I know before we started this week, Chad, you wanted to mention you lost a friend this week?
Yeah, man. I lost a friend that nobody messaged me about it. You know, maybe because I'm not online as much. But my buddy Mike DiMuzio, who I'm sure if any of you guys out here that listen to this show that know me, know that Mike DiMuzio was a great independent referee, and he lost his battle to cancer at 63 years old. And I just want Mike to know that I thought he was a terrible referee, but I would completely have him referee my match anytime I had the opportunity to, because I know I can make a fool out of him. And God rest his soul. I love you, Mike.
Cancer sucks.
It does, dude. It really does.
But I just wanted to let you say your piece there. I know.
Is that what Paul Orndorff's going through?
It seemed more like Alzheimer's or something to me.
I don't know what that is. It seems like it's multiple stuff.
It's really sad and really unfortunate. And a recent episode of We Can't Wrestle podcast, we talked about the big event from '86, and I don't think that. And it's obviously it's WWE and it's their narrative and it's their vision or whatever, or you know what I'm saying. They create their history. They do not give Orndorff the credit for the fucking draw he was with Hogan back in '86.
And the reason they don't is because he told him to fuck off, basically. Like I said on that big event deal, like he's the one guy that, I mean, I know he went back for the Hall of Fame, but he was the one guy that just said, fuck you. I don't want to deal with Vince and your shit, and left, and he never fucking went back. You know what I mean? He was never like, oh, I need the money, or I need this, or I need that. He just was like, fuck it. I don't want their money.
You're right. He came from that era, and I don't know if you're recording this, but he came from that era where literally he could walk away from, like, presumably big money. He didn't have any idea what big money was in the WWE, but he already had a good thing going,
right?
And he could have just walked away and just said, I don't fucking need to deal with this. And literally, you know how bad he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were gonna get some guy out there like the Iron fucking Sheep to stretch him. Like go out there and stretch Paul Orndorff. Oh, Mr. Wonderful. Oh no, I can't do it. Like Sal Palomo. I can't.
It says, fuck that. I ain't doing it.
Well, I contest that
he beat up Vader in shower shoes. Like, how impressive is that? Bobby Heenan said Vader got beat up in shower shoes that sound like old people clapping.
Yeah, shit.
Tremendous.
And I contest, and I think my favorite, and we'll get to ECW, folks, we promise. But probably my favorite rivalry for Hogan in his 80s run of the WWF is with Savage. But my favorite matches, I think Orndorff got the best matches out of Hogan in that time. My personal opinion. I enjoy their matches a lot. He made Hogan work to him,
Oh, because he's used to that Georgia 15-minute style.
Mm-hmm.
Get all your shit in, dude. Get it in. Get it in. Get it. It's gotta be snug. Oh yeah, clearly. Oh yeah. The only person that I think that made Hogan work more was probably David Schultz.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But he didn't have as many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like Orndorff worked with him around the horn.
Right.
Pick a city. When you see a guy telling you, "Oh, I'd be in San Francisco one night. I'd be in whatever one night." That's true. And you can see where that was true when it come to a guy like Orndorff.
Mm-hmm.
And the matches were believable, and you believe that he could beat him up.
Yeah.
I mean, well, clearly he could, but
Right. Yeah. Obviously. But yeah, it's sad to see Orndorff in that shape, but just nice to remember the good old days. And then after he did tell the WWE to go after themselves after the Hall of Fame, he grew a cool ass handlebar mustache too. Good for you, Mr. Wonderful.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We'll get to the point here on the Reliving the Extreme podcast, and the point is January 25th, 1993, ECW TV. We start the show off, of course, with Joey Styles, an intro in the Eagle's Nest, talking about what
Todd's back room of Golden Pawn or whatever the fuck he called his pawn shop.
Golden Pawn?
Yeah.
on Golden Pawn.
Is that what it's calling it?
Deep cut.
I don't know. You guys go ahead. I thought you said he called his pawn shop on Golden Pawn.
Joey talks about the upcoming event, February 5th, with the triple threat match, of course, coming up, as we alluded to last week, Terry Funk, Shane Douglas, and Sabu. And our friend Jay Sully is still here, and he is in the locker room, He is interviewing Public Enemy here in this segment. And
did you notice that Joey Styles called him his colleague?
Yeah, my colleague, Jay Sully.
And I thought he was gone. I almost thought he threw up in his mouth. I happened to say it by going, my colleague. Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, let's totally go over to this putz.
Yeah, totally. I mean, my result was, oh my god, they did a shocker recap. I mean, of what happened last week. Mm-hmm. Does that never happen? And then what I want to know is, when you're dealing with the Public Enemy and he's talking about he had to move a big screen TV somewhere, how big was this big screen TV?
Yeah, this is 93. This is like one of the big ass tube TVs. Jesus Christ! It turns out Johnny Grunge
you think he'd be in better shape.
Yeah, if he's moving TVs around.
Turns out Johnny Grunge is as strong as Ted Arcidi, I guess, here. But yeah, I thought about that too. I'm like, it's not like it was a flat screen.
I was watching it going, he had to move it all the way across town, he said, to Rocco. He had to move it 11 blocks. I'm thinking,
maybe it was one of those deals that was on wheels.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But he still had to hit the button so he could cross the street without the cars coming. So he's still standing out there like a putz. He's got a big screen TV out there, and he's got to hit the button so the thing can just walk. Yeah, he's pushing a big screen TV across the street.
Oh, Rocco!
Dude, that's a theme that's going to come up later on this show, because you guys don't know, it's an inside joke. Old Rocco became a theme in the ECW locker room. Oh, and there wasn't old Rocco. It was old Johnny.
Yeah.
that was the theme in the ECW locker room towards the end of their run.
The interview essentially is Public Enemy. The interview took place last week, telling the Public Enemy that their match on television was going to be postponed. They were still going to have their match, Jay's telling them. The match is postponed because the main event went long. And then Todd Gordon comes in the scene. Again,
you gotta have Todd Gordon.
He smacked Sully. They smacked him around.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
Just for
What?
being there.
What,
Just for
since
just for
92?
looking like that.
Aaron says he deserved it, and then Nate, you just said, "Yeah, just looking like that." I'm the only one. I'm the only one going. Am I the only one looking at this without like trying to like beat somebody up on it?
he deserves it though.
Aaron and Nate are already beating the guy up out back of a bar. And I'm just going, yeah, he looks like he just doesn't belong there. That's all I'm saying.
little out of place.
You guys are stomping a muddle.
Let's go over to Jay Out of Place Sully. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's his new name now.
Todd Gordon arrives, always going through puberty with his voice. And Rocco puts Todd against the wall, or against the door. I'm sorry, against the door. Todd mentions calling the police, and of course, the story changes with the Public Enemy now.
Oh,
don't call the po-po. Oh no,
that's
brutal.
That's where I'm telling you, you guys don't know how that came into play so often in them days. When shit would happen at the oh my god, what's that place called? The hotel. And shit would happen, and then you would always just hear, Johnny, you always get me in trouble. and it wouldn't even be Rocco or Johnny. It would be like Gary and Anthony. You know? Or it'd be somebody else just doing, oh, you always get me in trouble. Oh man. This whole entire promo became a staple to the Travel Lodge. At that time, it became a promo. Just tell anybody that you're Rocco and Johnny, and you're fine.
Be a dead hooker, and somebody be like, "Oh, Johnny."
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, I mean, because clearly, I don't know for 100%. I don't know for 100% that there wasn't drug overdoses there, but I'm sure there was. But it had to be, oh, Johnny, like, like, because you used to saying it when you had a whore in the room. You know what I mean? It was one of the things you just used to say.
And we'll get to it. I guess it's good late. It's more later on during the promo they cut later. But I do want to bring it up now, I guess, just because we're talking about the promo. I never was a fan of this whole deal. I do like Rocco when he gets intense, though. When he changes into the intense promo, I am a fan of that.
Oh, you mean when he does when he stares into the camera and he don't do the old Johnny?
Yeah. When he kind of, it's kind of like a bipolar thing. Like, I really enjoy his, but this clown, their clowning stuff always annoyed me. I don't know why, it just does.
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest. For 1994, it didn't bother me. I thought that, like, for 1994, that was good. I thought,
right.
I mean, but now that if you look at it, almost 30 years later, and you look at it and you go, yeah, I get what you're saying, Nate. But at the time when he's going, I might want to steal your big screen TV, but I'm gonna rip your head off.
Right.
At these, I understand what you're saying. But for 94, all right, I'll give him a pass for that.
Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. I just always kind of found it somewhat annoying, but when Rocco or Johnny would go into like serious mode, it was enjoyable. And they eventually, when they got to like WCW or whatever, they just kind of started phoning it in. But I mean,
it's almost like people forgot that it was wrestling. It's still wrestling,
right?
I mean, these two motherfuckers aren't fucking really stealing cars and shit. I mean,
It's the game.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So it just let them do their thing, and if you buy into it, you buy into it. And I think, I mean, clearly people bought into it, at least for a couple of years.
The Public Enemy now rolls into a match here, or we actually see the match from last week. It's the Public Enemy against Don E. Allen and Dwayne Gill.
Stiff competition.
Is it just because we've been watching like YouTube shows lately and not the WWE network that the lighting and the camera seem better in this show to me? Or did it actually get better?
No, I thought it was worse.
Oh, really? See, I thought it seemed brighter to me. I don't know. It just seemed more clear to me. And I didn't know if that was just because before we were watching like somebody's video and this is WWE version, so it's been cleaned up or.
No, I do remember this. I do remember this emphatically because it was Dwayne. That I do remember that Paul was working with a different production company.
Mm-hmm.
So but he still had like all the other like whatever lights and all that shit. But he was doing their take of it, and I do remember it going. This looks completely different than it used to look because it was way lighter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I wasn't sure if it was just because of if it was just the video, like of what we've been watching as compared to watching it, maybe a cleaned up version here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was somebody else. It was somebody else lighting it. And I just loved that I loved that it was Dwayne Gill. And I literally walked away to get a beer and come back and I hear whatever the fuck the guy's name is beating the shit out of Dwayne Gill. And I was like, oh my God, Gilbert. I mean,
did you see that slingshot Gilbert took into the ring?
Dude, Gilbert's the best.
When he was standing outside and fucking Rocco ricochets him into the ring with the rope or whatever, he got over halfway across the fucking ring. It was fantastic.
I mean, Gilbert, oh my God. He's somebody that I've known way longer than I've even been in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And when I gave him the opportunity to go up there, did we already talk about this where I told you that he said, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And because, the fucking Harris boys beat the shit out of him and Bob. And there was no reason to beat the shit out of him and Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And they just did it. And then Dwayne just said, no, it's not for me. And then he became Gilbert. And then the Harris brothers became unemployed. So, I don't know. And I was just like, wow, that was great. Like, Dwayne did a great job. And there's no doubt that Paulie would have had Dwayne back. Right. I mean,
right.
You saw you saw his body of work for being a job guy.
If you want a guy to make your up and coming guys or if you want a guy to make your stars look more like stars than they already are, Dwayne Gill's one of those guys you want.
Right. And it might cost you a couple bucks, but it's probably worth it.
Yep. Aaron, anything else on this match, I guess?
In the match, Joey says, oh, the Public Enemy is being more aggressive because their match got postponed. And then he's like, oh, wait, never mind. This was taped last week.
He said that.
I didn't even catch that.
He literally says the Public Enemy is being more aggressive in this match because their match got postponed. Oh, wait, no, it didn't because it was taped last week. I don't know what's going on.
No way. I gotta go back and hear that because I did hear him say that they're getting more aggressive because their match was postponed last week, but I didn't know that they were saying that match was.
I did not even catch that either. Good catch, Aaron. That's funny.
Way to go, eh? Good God.
And of course, this match, Public Enemy, goes over. A good squash match here. And anything else we want to talk about? Yeah, it was effective. It did everything it needed to do.
And they introduced a new graphic that you never saw later on again. Did you notice that, Nate?
I did not.
They introduced a new graphic for Todd, like a new the lettering.
Oh no, I didn't even catch that.
Oh yeah, for his name. It was almost reminiscent from the sci-fi or TNA days.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at it and I went, oh, look at this. They got a new fucking graphic for Todd. Nobody else but Todd.
Todd Gordon and Jay Sully are back Todd Gordon's making a ruling because he's gone to the, I don't know, I don't know what they don't know what they want to call it. The NWA Board of Directors or Board of Commissioners or the ECW Board of Commissioners or the Eastern NWA Board of something or other. But he went to the committee, and the Public Enemy is going to be facing the Bruise Brothers on February 5th. No rules. What's that, Aaron?
That'll suck.
This is where I said Ted Petty goes into the more intense promo. This was the kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah, but I think you're missing out on the big thing that happened right there. There was something that happened right there that was noticeable, and I don't think you guys caught on to it. Right around where Public Enemy comes in and he's talking to and they're talking to Todd, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said it's not a bad promo, and then all of a sudden Jake from State Farm pops in. And he's talking about a discount promo. And I'm going, wait a minute, Jake from State Farm? Did you guys get the same exact feed that I got?
No, sir.
Jake from State Farm too?
No.
I did. And I was like, yeah, wait, go get him. Wait a minute. Jake from State Farm.
You must have Peacock with ads.
I mean, he don't work here. I'm sitting there listening to Public Enemy talk about how bad they are. All of a sudden I hear Jake from State Farm. And I'm thinking, fuck yeah, he'll fuck you up. He'll discount the shit out of you.
And you know he's insured.
Fuck yeah. I mean, what are you going to do, hurt him?
Up next here, we have Tommy Dreamer versus a masked man by the name of Dr. Disaster. And this is what I was... Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
No, I was gonna say they at the beginning of this match, Joey says Dr. Disaster is going up against Tommy Dreamer, and Dr. Disaster could win this match because Chad Austin won last week, and if Chad Austin won a match, anything can happen in the ECW.
Oh, come on.
It's basically what he said.
Well, I mean, you have to accentuate it. Oh, if Chad Austin can do it, then
anybody can.
Yeah, well, that's not what he meant.
It's what he said, though.
You know what he meant? If you dream the impossible, that's what he meant. He didn't really mean that. Come on, Aaron, you're making a fool out of me in front of Archie.
All right, Tommy Dreamer and Dr. Disaster here. Tommy still got the robe on.
He gets caught in the ropes, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
When he tried to do his thing, he got kind of hung up in the ropes with his flowing robe.
Well, honestly, this was the beginning of Hack Myers. Because that guy was Hack Myers.
Okay.
And when I'm sorry, Nate, did I cut you off?
No. I was just gonna say I did not realize that at all until you mentioned it in our chat earlier before the podcast. I did not even realize that was Hack.
Yeah. Like Paul had an idea for Hack. I don't know if we've done the Valley Forge stuff yet or not, whatever. But he's always kept Hack around, and Hack was a Baltimore guy, big time Baltimore guy. And Axel trained him, Ian trained him. Very good hand. I loved Hack. He stayed at my house many, many nights, and he didn't want to get beat on TV under his independent name, so he always carried a mask with him. You know,
Smart move.
and then he also carried a different gimmick with him, the singlet. And when Paul asked him to do it, Paul loved it and said, "Yeah, go with it." And if you notice, he wore an armband on his arm that covered up his tattoo, that would later on become the Hack Myers, tattoo.
Right.
That was on his arm. Yeah, that was Hack. And me and Hack used to travel up there together. Like we lived only 12, maybe 15 minutes apart.
Well, I know you told me the story on the We Can't Wrestle podcast about how he
beat me up.
Fought you in his yard, but worked the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It was one of them. It was one of them the MMA fights that I was in that I didn't know that I was in. That nobody told me it was a work, and then I didn't know that it was a work. And I was like, "What am I doing here? Why is this guy pretending to punch me in the head?" The guy's just standing there like he's giving me like work punches in the head. It's like I work in Florida. like how do I sell this? Is he just do I just whoa?
Do I just fall into the kiddie pool, or what do I do?
Yeah. Do I stumble around and let him chase me?
Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
No, go ahead with what you're going to say. I was going to talk about the finish of the match.
Well, what I was going to say is during the match, this match came off to me, like I said at the beginning of the show, of obviously Paul sees the reaction that this crowd is having to Tommy and knows that what they're doing ain't working. So he actually starts the match out doing like Greco-Roman shit. And then like maybe 50 seconds, a minute into the match, then he starts doing, they go to the outside. He's putting the guy into the post.
The doctor of disaster or whatever, falls on his fucking ass when he gets knocked out. Like, flat on his fucking ass. He is not out of the ring gracefully.
He couldn't work like Hack Myers.
He didn't grab the rope or anything, just fucking full blown falls right on his fat ass.
He had to work like Zach Myers. Come on, cut us some slack.
Dr. Disaster looks like fucking Bob Roop singlet with like a shitty mask, superstar mascot.
No, not even Bob Roop.
The singlet.
Oh, no way.
Like when I saw the singlet, I'm like, it's like Bob Roop and the Masked Superstar had a baby.
Oh, get out of here. It was Brad Beggins. and the mask was somebody that just worked spot shows for AWA in the mid 80s. There was nobody that had that mask. That's not a definitive mask. That was just some guy that Vern pulled a mask out from underneath his ring and said, "You put this on."
You're Dr. X tonight.
Yes, that's all that was. And the mask was blue and the outfit was red. Oh, a lot of thought went into the outfit, poor Hack. But I must have been ratings because they mentioned me.
Yeah, more than once. Later on, we'll get to that. But Tommy Dreamer, like I said, I don't know if you guys agree with me or what, but this seemed to be like I said, a transition for Tommy, or a transition type match for Tommy, just to try a new edge for his character to get him over with that crowd, because like I said, it wasn't working the other way. Tommy does the head bite. He's running the guy into the post.
Got the cane.
Yeah, the Dream Weaver deal doesn't really work.
Fuck yeah, the Dream Weaver.
Yeah.
Joey Styles says, "Here comes the dream, and now the weave."
The weave.
And I was like, wait a minute, Dusty Rhodes and Miss Jackie are coming out?
All right. We're doing a show here. Stop it. When I heard him say Dream Weave, I was just thinking like, there ain't nothing wrong. I was like, his hair. There's nothing wrong with his hair. He's gonna get the dream weave.
The guy's wearing a mask. He doesn't even know if he needs a weave.
Oh no.
All right. Tommy goes over in this match. And after that, hey, look, it's another first appearance here on the ECW TV show as Mr. Hughes is out for action against a young man known as Mikey Whipwreck. Mikey Whipwreck's first appearance, I believe, on EC. I don't know if this is first appearance in ECW. I don't know if it's his first appearance in ECW, but it's definitely his first appearance on TV.
Oh, did you see that great facial expression when Mr. Hughes got I screenshot it on the fucking page.
Yeah, I saw you had it on the Facebook group. Yeah,
dude, argue with me that we didn't have the best jobbers in wrestling. I mean, look at them. It was me. It was Mikey. It was at the time. It was Paul Loria too.
Mm-hmm. Donnie Allen.
And then at need be, we had Stetson. we had Body.
Was Dirt Bike Kid there?
Well, I'm not going to say that because I'm thinking I think he decided to leave at that point. But dude, I thought we had the best jobbers in the business. Me, Mikey, and Paul. Like, look at the next couple weeks of television. I haven't even seen it. You're gonna see me, Mikey, and Paul all over them. and one of Mikey's other guys. I don't know the other guy's name. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect the guy, but I don't know his name. But yeah. Stormin' Norman. That's his name.
Yeah, we've seen him on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see us getting beat the shit out of all over the place in the next couple of weeks. And I'm thinking, like, we're better than the guys I don't even remember on NWA Challenge or, or any of those shows.
And like you said, you and Mikey, and then you got Donnie Allen. Hey, we got Dwayne Gill here. I know he wasn't consistent, but yeah, I mean, it's
he's got credibility.
Sure. This is much more credible than
the Undertaker of jobbers, Dwayne Gill.
He's the Undertaker of jobbers.
He's the phenom of jabrones.
All right. Well, I mean, I didn't really know that any fucking jabronis ever rose from the fucking ashes. Until that happens, we'll save that for somebody else. But there's no way that the Dwayne Gill's rising from the phoenix of the ashes. Jobbers. We'll move on from that one.
The match starts off with Mr. Hughes grabbing Mikey by the ears and then just holding him up by his ears.
That was Mikey being good.
Mm-hmm. Mikey
knew how to put his knees up in Curtis's ribs and stay there for what? At least 3-4 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he could have lost his ears if Mikey didn't know how to do that spot.
And he made Hughes look impressive. And Joey does a good job of making Hughes sound impressive on commentary too, talking about how Lex Luger was so scared of Mr. Hughes. If you can't beat him, join him. He was so scared of Mr. Hughes, he made him his bodyguard. And The Undertaker, he talks about The Undertaker and Hughes and the WWF. And good job by not only the guy in the ring with Mr. Hughes, but the guy on the call too, putting Mr. Hughes over as a monster.
Is that like Paulie's the only guy that really ever made me interested in Mr. Hughes.
Really? I mean, it took you your whole entire life for somebody to make you interested in Mr. Hughes as Paulie?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I never was. I just didn't know that something took somebody something to find you interested.
I'm not saying it's the most entertaining thing in the world, but when he was in ECW, they presented him as being at least. I I don't know how I want to say it. Like when he was in like WCW, he was just kind of a guy, and then he was in WWF. It was terrible, and at least Paulie like somewhat got him over with me as being.
He was cheap talent. He was cheap talent coming off of a good run, and he was, you know what I mean? He was coming off of a good run with the WWE where he worked Taker. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not going to run down his resume because I don't give a fuck what he did.
Yeah.
But he worked Taker and then worked there, and then he was coming off a good run, so he had value. But you can't, if you're going to work for a company like ECW consistently on a weekly basis, you can't charge them your independent rate, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can't say, oh, I want $800. I want $750. You can't do that because you're only going to get that one time. So we had to have been working on a $300, you know, salary. If I had to guess, that's probably what it was. I mean, does this sound about right? Considering the economics of 1993.
Yeah, you probably got a good payoff first coming in, and it was like, yeah, I'll pay you this, but then if it works out, you're gonna take a bit of a cut.
Yeah, but I mean, if you get over.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's getting over in ECW in 1994? Jesus, me? I know what the ball is. I need a pay raise. I can't believe this fucking 1472 is not cutting it. It wasn't a stale hot dog.
Curtis Hughes is like, hey, man, before I got here, there were 600 people in the crowd. I've been here 3 months, and you're up to 605. You need to bump me up, brother.
And I wrestled at 605 on TBS.
He was in WCW. He has the Hall and Nash contract.
Favorite nations
from Mr. Hughes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Paul made that contract. Oh yeah. If anybody gets anything more than you, and it's not like anything as in more than you. If anybody gets anything
whatsoever, yeah,
then sure. You get twice as much.
We are now rolling into the ECW championship match here on this episode of ECW. It is the ECW champion Terry Funk against one half of Bad Company, Pat Tanaka. And I'm gonna say
company sucks.
I'm gonna say
worst company I've ever not worked for.
I'm gonna say a lot of negative things in this show about Pat Tanaka, and it's not necessarily to shit on Pat Tanaka. It's just in this because I'll be honest, and you may disagree with me, Chad. I was a fan. I was actually the time I was most the fan of Bad Company was when they were the Orient Express in the WWF. And I know that's, you know, a lot of times people always think that the worst of people when they were in the Federation as far as territories and stuff go. But I thought that they did a really good job as the Orient Express in the WWF. They had good matches with the Rockers. They had I liked them as the Orient Express. Here in ECW? No.
Negative. Not going to happen.
Remember when Paul Diamond was a junkie in Memphis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that thing where he's going on TV telling the kids to stay off drugs because he was addicted and all this other shit. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna blast any of the two. I knew Pat was going through a bad time, but I agree, Nate, that Pat at one time was a fantastic bumper. Oh my God. Who wouldn't you want? I mean, name another guy besides Bobby Eaton that you would want to come in and feed for a hot tag.
Right.
You know, in a hot tag match than Pat Tanaka. No, because he would do that inside out. He would do that flip bump, everything. And this was just no.
Yeah, it's either a matter of these guys are at the the what do you want to say, the crescendo, the end of their working, or they're just working here and just phoning it in and don't give a shit. I mean, either way.
I think it was Paul owing money.
Okay.
it was Paul owing them money, and they just weren't doing anything. We're not doing nothing. That's what I think. That's what a lot of things came down to back in the day. That's and I think this was the start of it, because Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka, come on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. We haven't got a Tully Blanchard yet, for Christ's sake.
Right.
And Tully Blanchard's way above Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
That Paulie's having financial issues with Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka. The WWE's got TV tapings of White Plains. Why don't you guys hop in a car and go do jobs? What are you fucking around here for?
Well, they're definitely fucking around here. Terry Funk and Pat Tanaka, on paper, should be decent, but it really isn't. As much as I like both guys, the Funk starts off the match babbling at Paul Diamond to go away. Essentially, you need to go away.
He said, "You're not even a wrestler."
Yeah,
you're not even a wrestler. And Paul Diamond's just standing on the fucking floor looking like a schlub. Like, I guess
you're right.
Here you are not.
Right. He's wearing a Hooters dress, like he's at work on a part-time job. You're not even a wrestler. You're right. Not yet. But when I get off at 7:30, I'm coming down to the arena. Me and Patrick.
during the match, which again, not there are some spots in the match, but not a lot.
And when did Kevin Sullivan cut this promo about Pat Tanaka's dad? Like, I don't remember ever seeing it.
We didn't. I think they made it up.
I think he did it in like fucking 88 and Continental. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I think he did it in like 88 and Continental.
Joey Styles is like, we're digging up some old stanky heat here for this altercation. We want to put Pat Tanaka and Kevin Sullivan
have a beta player, so we can't show it to you, but we'll talk about it.
Dude, you two fucking idiots wait till I tag you in the fucking Continental clip when I fucking find it, and I tag you in it. And I go, he's going to tag Pat Tanaka's father, Duke fucking whatever his name was.
Kiyamuka? Was it Kiyamuka?
Yeah, whatever his name was.
I think it's Dookie Muda.
Duke Karaoke is gonna he's gonna tag him in it.
That's better what I wrote. I wrote Dookie Muda, but
it's the great Dookie Muda.
The great Dookie Muda. But I think Duke Karaoke's much better.
He's gotta sing Sweet Caroline for the moonsault. What do you mean? He's the great Karaoke Muda. What is that? What do you mean the great Karaoke Muda?
It's a triple jump moonsault, and every time he hits the rope, they go dun dun dun. And then he hits it.
I don't know what he's talking about. No, now you're just talking nonsense. Jeez Louise.
Then the Bad Braid and Tiny Toons get involved.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a podcast not about wrestling? Because it seems like it's funnier.
Call it Off the Rails. That's what we'll call it.
Did you see that black guy walking down the street today? Unbelievable. On my street.
He looked at me and he said, 37 years in the business, and they call me Bobo Brazier.
See? There you go. I was going to go with, I asked him, I said, I saw a black guy at a Cadillac plate the other day, and I heard the salesman go, "Hey, man, are you thinking about buying a fucking Cadillac? And he looked at the guy and he goes, no, I am buying a Cadillac. I'm thinking about pussy. And I looked at him and went, there you go. You might want to put a disclaimer on the show.
That's the title of the show. You might want to put a disclaimer on the show. That's the name of the episode.
IE and Duke karaoke.
No. I'm being raked in the colds.
We now bringing it back.
Dude, the show's over. the ECW show's over.
And we've probably been canceled too, but that's fine. As Aaron said, Terry Funk's Few Good Men come out, the Rottens, and then Taz.
I didn't even see that, Nate.
Well, I only saw Ian. Did anybody else actually see Axel? Because I only saw
was
Ian
out there. Axel was brawling with him in the he was beating up Paul Diamond in the entranceway or whatever. But Ian's the one that actually got up on the ring, which was impressive for him.
Killing me.
Taz and Kevin Sullivan are also out. I believe Taz had was it a manhole cover? I don't know what the hell that was, but it was huge. And then Terry Funk, through all this chaos, gets a roll up.
Pizza pan.
The man is gone, and they're using his pizza pan as a weapon. Because I don't think we're going to see any more Sal in ECW.
Well, that's the problem. You.
That's what's I'm out of me.
No, yeah, we got to figure this out. You.
Terry Funk gets
more Sal. You.
Terry Funk gets Pat Tanaka with a roll up, and now we go to Maddie in the house.
Oh, come on! Do we have to go to the? I mean, when did Pat Tanaka really become awful?
Here
was it at this time frame?
I say yes, just because I saw the Orient Express in WWF, which I liked him in the WWF, and then the next time I saw him was here. So I don't know what I honest to God don't even know what he did in between the WWF and ECW. I don't know if he just dicked around on the okay, good answer. I don't know if he dicked around on the indies or
I have a great thing written down for Paul Diamond where I really just wrote, like, after watching Tanaka do all the fucking bumping and do everything, and I wrote Pawn Diamond. Like, he was just there to get the finish. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, this is garbage.
Yeah, it's like it was a complete. He did like a complete 360. Like last week, he was fucking lighting it up, and like that 6-man match, he was fantastic. And then in this one, he's just
the shits.
He just does nothing.
Yeah, but dude, he's about to drop a fucking name.
Yeah.
That I wrote down before he even said it. Because I said I didn't know, honestly, Aaron and Nate, I didn't know that we were building up to the show. I said when Tanaka was sitting there looking all stupid and looking all like he was high earlier in the day, and I was just like, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna find somebody, I'm gonna dig deep. I'm just thinking, like, really, I don't know how's this gonna work. And then when he says the name, before he says the name, I write it down on a piece of paper, and I will show it to you, and it's right there. Mm-hmm. And I said, "There's not another name you're gonna put on that paper than that fucking guy." And then I realized Pat Tanaka was the guy that's bringing the Sheik in ECW.
Of all people.
Well, I mean, nobody else could do it.
We have before we get to that, we actually have like I said, Maddie in the House is with Paulie. They're talking about 911. And
it looks like Jake Roberts got stung by bees. Like if you look at him, he looks like Jake Roberts is allergic to bees and he got stung and he fucking ballooned up because of the allergic reaction. Like Jake Roberts and the 911 are like very similar in their hair and their mustache, and
he's like Jake Roberts if he was shaped like his own dad. Yeah.
So he might be a product of Grizzly Smith on his road trips.
You guys are fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I think he looks like a big, just gigantic guy that just has a mustache. and you guys are talking about him and Jake Roberts' dad all mixed together, and I don't think any of that. I think 911 just looks stupid. I mean, but in 1994, let's be honest, it worked, right? I mean, how long did it work? It worked up until what 96?
Mm-hmm.
Is that when it worked till?
Well, after the promo, they show once again Chad getting choke slammed by 911 from last week because
I'm a ratings grabber.
Yes, absolutely. It made an impact. And so next up, and this is going to get to our closing thing that we talked about with the Sheik. We have Taz and Kevin Sullivan supposed to face Dwayne Gill and Donnie Allen. And Dwayne Gill and Donnie Allen just passively let Bad Company take the match. Like, there's not even a dispute. Bad Company walks out, they're like, we're taking the match. And Donnie and Dwayne are like, all right, we're going to get some nachos. So that's how that goes down. Hot dogs. There's no nachos here. Not yet. ECW ain't in the nacho money yet, right?
Dude, we're not, it ain't the Garden.
Yeah. Melted cheese is expensive.
Well, that being said, this becomes an impromptu match between Bad Company and Sullivan and Taz.
Like, I'm barely paying Terry. You think I'm going to buy Velveeta by the pound? What the fuck?
I have an observation here that you guys might think I'm out of left field here, but usually matches turn into a brawl. This is a brawl that turned into a match. Like, they started this thing out as the brawl, and then it just turned into for a while a scientific wrestling match.
Well, the referee just tied the tag ropes on the side of the thing, and everybody just went to their allotted sides, and they didn't know. It's what they were used to. That's how Byrne did it.
So you just beat me with a manhole cover.
Yeah,
now
they
let's
started fighting, and then all of a sudden the referee ties the tag ropes in. So you
and they're like, hammerlock. We got to go to a hammerlock now.
Muscle memory, man.
I don't know. That last part of that show, I even wrote, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But
Paul
somebody
Diamond
did a nice bulldog I wrote. I don't know who the fuck even did it.
It was Paul Diamond, because I wrote it down too. He does a nice bulldog off the second rope, I believe.
Yeah, what the fuck is he still doing there? Jesus. When's his visa expired? Jesus Christ almighty.
The match ends with a roll-up by Paul Diamond on Taz. And then Taz and Kevin Sullivan do what was not an effective spike pile driver on Paul Diamond.
What do you mean? It almost killed him.
He's in the hospital.
Still?
To this day.
I don't think, Aaron, I don't think he's still there. I think that's fictitious. I don't think that he's still there. Which hospital? Is it a Montreal hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can believe that.
Universal healthcare, man. It takes a long time to get checked out.
Yeah, our people in Canada, they just live in hospitals.
Hey.
Yeah, I didn't know. At first off, guys, I didn't get it. It took me a little while to get it. That I didn't realize that they were doing a write-off angle with Paul Diamond with the stretcher. You know what I mean? Carry him off gimmick. And I was like, what the fuck? That was terrible.
It was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. And then after the fact, they go to Joey. He's on the phone with Pat Tanaka, and Tanaka's supposedly at the hospital with Paul Diamond. And then Tanaka is like giving us a play-by-play. He's like, they're asking him his social security number.
It's not even a good play-by-play. He says, I don't know how he's doing, Joey. I just know he's not doing good. Well, you do know how he's doing, then, you fucking idiot.
Well,
and then he's like, what's his social security number? Like, who's he asking that to?
Yeah, who the fuck's that?
Why are you putting that thermometer in his butt?
And it took forever. They said it took forever for the EMTs to get there, but when when the Public Enemy attacked the battery, they just said, yeah, we're at the arena, and they're like, we're on our way. It's like, well, last 3 weeks ago, you guys knew exactly where to go. And this is an idea.
I just love that they asked for a social security number.
I'm Canadian. I don't have one of those.
Like, how much you want to bet Paul was buying fucking plane tickets? That whatever number was being spit out,
Pat Tanaka
it down and getting plane tickets.
Pat Tanaka's at the hospital going, get my friend some help. My father was Duke Karaoke, and we need assistance.
Yeah. Like you know the story about Bubba, right? Going to the airport to pick up funk and shit.
No.
That he goes to the airport and he calls Paul and he asks him for the flight number. And Paul just goes 09734566792. And Bully writes it down. And then he looks at it and he looks at the numbers and he goes, that's too many numbers. And then he realizes that it's bullshit. It's not his fucking flight number. And he had to either had to fucking pay for Terry's flight on his own ticket, or however they did it. I don't know how they did it, but you know what I mean. That he's standing there going, "You gave me too many numbers."
So wait. Paulie didn't even pay for a flight for Terry Funk?
No.
Jesus Christ. Of all people, you pay for Terry Funk.
Because I'm assuming that he thought somebody young like Bubba at the time would have fucking just put his credit card up on it, and just paid for it.
That's insane to me. My next observation here before we oh man. All right. Diamond is telling Pat in the hospital, don't get mad, get even. Okay. So we have Pat Tanaka riding to the hospital with Paul Diamond. Paul Diamond's still checking in, obviously, because they're taking his temperature and giving him an ice pack or whatever and asking for his information. And in this time, which maybe 15 minutes? Pat Tanaka booked the Sheik? Jesus Christ. That's quick. It's fucking quick. He got the Sheik on the line.
I mean, if your fucking father is the king of karaoke, then, I guess you can get the Sheik. I don't know. I mean, maybe he got the Sheik or La Freak. Maybe we heard it wrong. It could have been anything. The Sheik.
Le Freak. That's funny.
Was that what it is? La Freak? Yeah. Maybe we heard it wrong. Maybe he got them to do it.
The Sheik is going to be teaming apparently with Pat Tanaka on February the 5th, 1994, at the night the line was crossed to take on the ECW Tag Team Champions, Kevin Sullivan, because apparently Kevin Sullivan ran away from the state of Florida when he heard he had to wrestle the Sheik.
Oh, all I can tell you is this match is terrible. That's all I'm going to say. Terrible.
At Tanaka and the Sheik versus Taz and Kevin Sullivan, since it's like a fever dream. Like you're really sick, and it's like that's what your fucking brain would put together because it's too hot and doesn't know what's going on.
It sounds like something if you call into work tomorrow, you tell them you're not feeling good, and you go, "Why? What's wrong?" You just send them that.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Look at this. You tell
This
me
is
why I should feel like I'm coming in. Look at them. They're not doing anything. They're doing nothing.
All right, guys.
They're
Overall,
all 5'2". They're all 5'2" and just stumbling around.
Yeah.
No fucking idea what's going on.
They're all 5'2" and stumbling around. we got so many names for this show. They're all 5'2" and stumbling around. Just look at them. It's Memphis.
It's the Lollipop Guild match here at ECW. Aaron, overall, what kind of a rating did you give this episode of ECW?
I gave it a C because it was ridiculous and I enjoy ridiculous shit. It was fun.
Of course.
And as much as we can say negative about it, it's better than what we were watching 6 months ago, and it's progress. And yeah, I know. But I can't get that ink back for my man. You have to pour the foundation sometime. And I think that I actually gave it a C also, just like Aaron did, just because I didn't completely hate the show. I thought the Tanaka thing at the end was stupid. It was just the angle didn't work for me, and it again, it moved too fast, I guess. I don't know. And I know they're trying to get to their show on February the 5th, and probably some shit went down with Paul Diamond or whatever, but it felt very rushed and was not well executed. But I like the rest of the show. I just, in general, like I said, I agree with Aaron. I say a C.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. I gave it a rating.
Progress.
That's pretty much all I'm going to say. I rated it. I looked at it and I said, yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, I saw it. I gave it an acknowledgement. Yeah.
I picture that. I don't know.
The show got a participation trophy.
It got an acknowledgement.
I picture that gif with the guy with the beard when he looks to the camera and gives a little nod. That's what I picture Chad doing to this show. Just giving it a little nod.
From Jeremiah Johnson.
Yes.
It's below honorable mention. I just said, yeah,
mention. It's just mention.
Acknowledge that I saw it.
There's no honorable to it. It's just a mention.
Yeah,
it feels like when my dad would watch me do Little League. He's like, yeah, you were there.
Yeah. Stunk it up.
He tried.
Good job.
Look at my awful third baseman.
Yeah. Good job, T-Ball. Good job.
That's why we have right field.
Well, that being said, any parting words, guys, for this week on Reliving the Extreme?
We got an hour out of it, and that's
as per usual.
And I appreciate everybody listening through it.
Yes, thank you to everybody for listening to the Reliving the Extreme. And that being said, I would like to just do a cheap plug here. If you're not already, please check out WrestleNet Radio. It is available in the Google Play Store for a download to your Android phone, or we do have a link in the WrestleNet Radio Facebook page and the WrestleNet Radio Facebook group that you can put it into Safari on your Apple browser, because Apple are assholes and still have not approved the app. But anyway, it is 24/7, 365. There are episodes of Reliving the Extreme, We Can't Wrestle, the Asylum Wrestling Podcast, and many, many more shows. Archie does his own show. If you smell what the Arch is cooking, we're doing a 25 years ago pro wrestling news show on the show. Also, David Gold with Maximum Gold. I know Aaron and Chad are talking about doing a Portland show. A lot of shit going on with the WrestleNet Radio. And,
which I just got to sit down today because I haven't had a day off for like 14 days in a row. And I got to put in my first Portland DVD, and I put it in. I'm like, oh, Magic Man. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Fuck yeah.
the DVD, the song that plays as you're trying to pick your match that you want to watch is Magic Man. I was like, that's fucking tight. I like that.
I didn't make that shit, Aaron.
I know you didn't, but I'm just saying, it's like, I want to finish the song before I pick a match, because that song's awesome.
Go get a Guitar Hero. The fuck? Bang, bang, ziggy, 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 bang. The fuck? Watch the fucking match, dumb dog.
I did. I watched 3 of them, but I'm just saying, like, oh, Magic Man, that was unexpected.
Buddy Bros and shit.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week for another edition of Reliving the Extreme. It's always a blast with my brother, Aaron, and my brother, Chad Austin. And we will see you all. Twitter. Yes, sir. What's the handle?
I don't know. Whatever. Or you follow me on Twitter.
Find Chad on Twitter.
I'm soon to be verified because, of my Cornet mentions.
Hey, yo. We'll see y'all next week on the Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week, everybody. I was about to say, find Chad on Twitter, and somebody find Michael Elgin. Jesus. Jerry's missing.
No, Michael Elgin?
Yeah.
He's a big fucker. How can nobody find him? He's big.
Well, I think he has issues, and like one of his best friends, who is also like, I guess his sponsor or whatever, put something on Twitter that his they found his phone at his apartment, but his car was gone, and nobody's seen him for like 3 days. So, I didn't make the inappropriate Michael Elgin joke.
Who's the last company you worked for?
Was it ROH?
Was it ROH or New Japan?
I'm asking. I don't know.
Yep, it's probably ROH, because I don't think he's been in Japan for a while.
I'll ask Jeff. And Jeff will probably kayfabe me because he's got too much heat anyway. He'll probably kayfabe me, but yeah, I'll ask him. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, like I said, his I just saw something. It was like before we started recording, it was as of 3 hours ago. A friend of his had posted on Twitter, like, if you see him, let us know, because they found his phone. Like I said, they found his phone in his apartment, but his car was gone, and they haven't seen him for like 3 days. So
that's sad.
Yeah.
I think this show will be good because I think I wrote a lot of I wrote good jokes, and I even took my notebook to the bar when we went to the bar earlier, and she's like, "You're bringing your notes to the bar?" I said, "Yeah, I want to look over my jokes." I said, "I don't think you're fucking funny," Yeah, so I think tonight's show went pretty well because I think we laughed a lot.
We got more out of it than I thought we would, so I'm impressed.
Then I'm telling you, don't discredit me. If you need to get an hour out of something stupid, you let me know. I could squeeze an hour out of a fucking stone, or whatever they say, however they say it. I can do it.
Oh yeah, it turned out really good.
Duke karaoke. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, what the fuck is that all about? We got a couple of names for this show. What was the other one?
Oh God, when I edit it, I'm sure I'll have 7. There was something about when there's something about discretion advised or something like that.
Well, we'll find out when you edit it.
You're the professional.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Me and Aaron are talent. We just show up. All right. Is there anything else you guys want me to do?
No, sir. It's all good here. I appreciate it, though, guys. Good job, as always.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, guys. That was a fun show. I'm telling you, it's going to turn out okay. And we're still doing okay with listeners, right?
Yep. Still up in ratings, if you will.
All right. Well, just let me know if anything happens.
All right, will do. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Guys.